Alright guys, welcome back to your first Unreal Engine project. Since it's your first project, I'm going to kind of introduce in this lesson the editor windows, what they do, what's important, and how to kind of navigate around. So just starting at the top bar, and I'll go around. We got our save button. This will save the level. Bear in mind, if you want to save all of your assets, you have to go to File, Save All. So we'll get into what the difference is later, but there's two different saves, Save Level and Save All. This will pop open your content drawer, which is where all of your models and sound effects and content will be. You can also just click the button down here to open it up and close it. And you can hit Control Spacebar also to pop that open. That's the shortcut. Here's our Add Content section. So if you're looking to add anything like a light or really anything, it's all in here. There's a lot of stuff, so a lot of the time students like to click the Place Actors panel, which will give them this little sidebar here that kind of puts things in categories, so you could, for example, drag and drop a light or something into the scene. Next up is your blueprints. This is where we're going to have our level code. We'll get to that later, but just so you know, that's where it is. And then here's the cinematics, so level sequences. Again, we'll cover that later. One important thing that you'll probably want to do immediately is play the game, right? So if you hit the play button here, that will play the current game. And since we started with our third-person template, this is the template we're using. To escape the game, just hit the escape button on your keyboard. There are other options to like simulate it and stuff like that, but for now we're going to probably just mostly play with the play button. The platforms is where you'll go when you're finally done with your game, and once you want to package your project for a platform such as Windows or PlayStation or something, this is where you'll package it all up. But for now, we're not really messing with that. Over here is the outliner. This contains everything in the scene, so this is pretty important. If you double click on anything in it, it'll zoom right into it. If you search for something in there, you can also find it. And then you can put folders in here as well. So there's new folders. You can organize things by folders. You can hit the eyeball next to whatever the item is to hide it. So I hit the light, or if I want to hide, the ground, that just hides it. It doesn't actually get rid of it. But this is a good way to, once you start making levels, there's a lot of content that you'll have, so you do want to organize it so you're able to find things you need. That being said, anything that I choose, like if I click on anything in this scene, okay, so if I click on this wall, down below is the details panel. The details generally contain all the basic information for whatever the object is, in this case location, rotation, and scale. So you could adjust that here. And also like what mesh is it, so all of the details are going to be in here. The materials, stuff like that. Every type of asset will have different details. So if I look at a light, for example, I can play with, the intensity of the light here, the color. So any information you're going to need to find about any of the objects will be in this details panel. And depending on what type of asset it is, it'll have different details. So lights have different details than a static mesh, for example. Let's see, as far as these other tabs go, for now I would not recommend world partition, so just disregard that for now. If you're making new levels, just do basic levels. We can get into world partition later. Basically allows you to stream giant open worlds, but for now we're just learning on a regular size map. One good tab here though is world settings. These are the settings for the overall level, the world. If you don't have this world settings tab, like if it's not there like that, you can go to the settings here and click on world settings. The world settings basically allow you to set the game mode, the default character, which is called a pawn. For now we'll just leave it all as is, but just be aware that a lot of the level settings can be changed in here. Speaking of settings, in our settings area, there's a few important ones. If you have a slower computer and you're running Unreal Engine, you might notice that it lags a bit. If you want to work a little faster, you can go down here to Engine Scalability and set it to something like medium. Low will make it look really bad, like it'll basically get rid of shadows, but medium or high is pretty good. What else? Volume, if you need to turn the volume up or down on your game because it's annoying to hear the same music over and over, you can always do that here. And if you ever want to use plugins, you can find them here as well. The content drawer is where you're just going to spend a lot of your time. This is where, like I said, all your content is. So if we have a blank project right now, you'll see we got the characters. If you dig through the folders, you can see the different assets. Don't worry about what everything is yet. Just know that all your content will be in here. So if you add any content from the marketplace, or if you add some new stuff, it'll show up in here. For example, the starter content. If I open up like a props folder, I'll see there's some props I can drop in just to see how they look. So it does take a second sometimes to prepare the shaders and then make it show. So that's the general short explanation of what these windows are and what's important just to get started. The next important thing is how to move. So I'll go over how to move the camera and how to rotate and have full control in the next video. Alright, thanks guys, I'll see you later.